but he's been off at a Bible college and studying to follow God's plan and purpose for his life that he believes is youth ministry, and we believe it as well, and he's going to be following God into youth ministry one day. So he's been here in the summer doing an internship with our youth ministry, basically getting kind of a background scenes, what goes on in youth ministry and what we do as leaders and so forth. And I want to put this plug out there for you seniors who are graduating as well, that we're looking to do this internship again next summer. And we're looking to add more people to give you guys some more ministry training if you feel called to youth ministry or ministry in general, just to learn all the aspects of what we do to help people out and so forth and so on. So he's been a part of that, and part of his training is going to be this morning. He's getting up and speaking in front of you guys. I know he's spoken before, and I know he's going to do a great job and just be all kinds of coolness for you guys. So I want to just go ahead and announce Mr. Nathan Lutone. Let's give him a big Rock Youth welcome.
You know what discipleship is? I wanted to define it. Raise the hands. Nobody? Oh, okay. All right. Well, for one thing, from the famous words of Lecrae, this is our lifestyle and not our religion, which is by Unashamed. And in terms, Jesus selected, if you guys remember, 12 apostles. So he kind of got his 12 main guys to come with him and to follow him through, the promised land and all that fun stuff. And what Dictionary.com defines as discipleship is any follower of Christ. So someone who puts their heart to God to follow his lifestyle. Yes, and if we can turn to Acts 11:26. Acts 11:26 goes by. It starts with Barnabas and Saul going to Antioch to kind of preach the word and get the church back together. So we're kind of getting when they get together and get to the church. So on 26, and when he had found him, which is Saul, Barnabas trying to find Saul, and he brought him to Antioch. And for an entire year, they met with the church and taught considerable numbers. And the disciples, this is the key part, the disciples were first called Christians at Antioch. So it wasn't, it was, a Christian is not just being a Christian. You've got to be a disciple of the Lord to really get the title as a Christian. You can't just say, I go to church, I'm a Christian. You got to make sure you put a little more effort into what you believe in order to become one of his disciples. So my first point for this morning is you definitely got to yoke up with a church. You got to make sure you're getting involved with someone, because we can't, as a Christian, we can't stand alone. As a metaphor, I kind of put as, since we live in the supernatural, we kind of live on like a continent, but the natural lives in an island. So we don't live in the natural, we live in the supernatural. So you got to make sure you're with the body of the church in order to stay big and not small. All right, so 1 Corinthians 11:32, but when we are judged, we are discipled by the Lord. Or disciplined, We're disciplined by the Lord so that we will not be condemned along with the world. So pretty much, in order to accept, to kind of go with being a disciple of God, you got to have correction in your life. And God's not, the devil kind of messes with you and he tries to, I guess you could say, condemn you. But that's not God's goal. He's to convict you and not condemn you. He doesn't want you, not going farther with your past. He wants you to continue, but he wants some correction to kind of line you up to go where you need to go. It's like, I declare these games open! And the torch goes out. So, you got to think that as our fire, though, because we have a flame, and through life, it's going to go out. We're going to be discouraged at times. It's going to go out, but you got to be the guy with the torch running back for the second time to go, I declare this game's open, goes out, but you just got to keep going, because by the third time, he had it. So you got to make sure you keep pursuing with that torch, because if you don't, and that flame goes out, well, then what's your life bound to then? If you got no, torch and, you don't got God, there's not much else you can do with life.
Last day warriors, arise from yesterday's ash and raise your fist with us. We are the army that's charging upon the land.